Hello, Fiedelbogen here. To my fellow workers in the vineyard, worldwide, greetings. Feminist, non-feminist, anti-feminist. What do these words mean? What is the difference between them? Well, feminist means feminist. That's easy enough. And non-feminist means not feminist. Again, easy enough. Now let's look at anti-feminist. What does anti-feminist mean? Anti-feminist means opposed to feminism. Okay? So, when was the last time you met a feminist who was opposed to feminism? Has it been a while? I thought so. So, clearly, if you are anti-feminist, you must also be non-feminist. Therefore, every anti-feminist you meet is also a non-feminist. But is every non-feminist anti-feminist? Well, being the pragmatic operator that I am going to offer up a novel point of view here. I say yes, every non-feminist is anti-feminist because every non-feminist effectively opposes feminism. That's right, both anti-feminist and non-feminist oppose feminism. Non-feminist opposes feminism passively. Sometimes the passive approach is useful. Anti-feminist opposes feminism actively. Sometimes the active approach is useful. And yet, an anti-feminist is no less of a non-feminist simply for opposing feminism actively rather than passively. By the end of the day, all that matters is that they both oppose feminism. Or to put that another way, both non-feminist and anti-feminist exist in opposition to feminism. Yeah, man, it's existential. They both exist in opposition to feminism. In the long run, non-feminist carries the same political weight as anti-feminist because all opposition to feminism has the same existential value. It all interferes with feminism by roadblocking it and slowing it down in one way or another. It is all an impediment to feminist plans. The difference is that anti-feminist seems to imply an active adversarial stance, whereas non-feminist seems to imply live and let live. Well, the kicker is that live and let live needs to be a two-way street. And feminism is absolutely incapable by its very nature of living and letting live. To allow even 1 inch of space in this world that is not feminist is to admit in principle that non-feminist people and things have an inherent right to exist in the first place. And that throws the entire feminist project into question because it radically undermines the basis of feminist triumphalism. You know, the idea that feminism is absolutely, categorically, and objectively right beyond all further discussion for all time. Yeah, that's feminist triumphalism. So no, feminism cannot live and let live in relation to the non-feminist sector. Feminism's endgame is to make feminism the only game in town. And clearly, permitting a different game to exist in town at all would negate that purpose. Now, you might wonder, what's the point of being non-feminist anyway? If you oppose feminism, why not just call yourself anti-feminist and be done with it? Okay, fair enough. My reply would be that if you declare anti-feminism, you assume an adversarial stance which can be construed as aggressional. Now, we all know that feminism is the primary or predominant aggressor. We all know that feminism started this war the minute it came into existence and started spreading hysterical lies and slanders. And we all know that as non-feminist men and women, we are punching up, and feminism is punching down. We know this. And yet, feminism has a superlative genius for playing the victim, mostly by spin control. Whenever a conflict with feminism arises, the feminists will construct the story as a threat narrative. They will situate themselves as the victim and the other side as the perpetrator, even if the truth is exactly the opposite. They are very, very good at this, chillingly good. They perfected it to the level of a martial art. So, the non-feminist position undermines that entire game. It makes it hard for them to play the victim and leaves them with little choice but to back off and leave you alone, or, barring that, to make a move which can only be interpreted as aggression on their part. You see how simple this is? All we are doing is setting them up so they cannot play the victim. So they cannot play the victim. And if feminism cannot play the victim, then it can no longer effectively function. It can't do what feminism does any longer if it can't play the victim. They are not accustomed to living in a script where they are the aggressor. All you must do is quietly declare that you are not a feminist and ask that your non-feminist boundaries be respected. You just want to live a peaceable non-feminist life along with other non-feminist people, and you don't want any grief from the feminists. So, if you're a feminist and you give non-feminist people any trouble, they will have no choice but band together and converse about the feminist problem in a very serious way, and finally make plans to do something about it. So feminists, don't be the problem. Don't be the aggressor. Share the world with the rest of the world. Before I sign off, everybody go check out the Counter-Feminist Cyclopedia, a glossary of useful terminology for critical non-feminist men and women. You will find a hyperlink in the low bar. Bye for now. Fiedelbogen. Out, 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 out.